be a much better place.
We propose to incorporate a
Among
sun
other
ledge,
uses, the
3
guest
light
house could be
bubblers,
renovated
a 7-foot by 5
Subtle
foot
changes
spa,
to the use of area installations. They got or maybe it's not.
My name is Jared Hopkins, and
I'm Jessica Poteet.
we are fifth-year students at the University of Oklahoma, going for a bachelor's degree in architecture, and we are here to talk about the Sundial House. It is said that wherever we go, we take home with us. Regardless of where we are, we craft our spaces to appeal to our dreams of a home. These ideas take root and endure the test of time, inspiring minds for generations after, becoming a home for all. Such is the case of John Sinopolo, who envisioned his home in 1915. It was to be styled as a Greek Mediterranean mansion, an icon of his heritage. The gardens were inspired by Versailles, his favorite landscapes. These products culminated in the Sundial House, a breath of ocean air on the Oklahoma prairie. And while time has not been kind to the physical construct, Sundial House still embodies the dream of a home away from home.
As for the pool, a full remodel does not seem cost efficient. We suggest reusing the space and designing an effective outdoor living area. This will include a 175 square foot pool with a 120 foot perimeter. We propose to incorporate a sun ledge, 3 light bubblers, a 7-foot by 5-foot spa, and room for an outdoor kitchen.
One of the many wonderful aspects of the Sundial House is the detached guest house. This detached guest house has everything it needs to function as a home on its own, from bedrooms to bathrooms, to kitchen, to dining, to living, and even garage space. Among other uses, the guest house could be renovated and lived in while the actual Sundial House is being restored.
The landscape of the Sundial House is once again influenced by the Garden of Versailles in Paris, France. Historical plantings, edible nut trees, sustainable hardscapes, and elegant fountains have been added to the landscape. Some of the main focal points within the landscape are a sundial, a large fountain surrounded by flowering shrubs, an enclosed gazebo with an added fire pit, an exterior pool that is now adjacent to the ponds that is also surrounded by elegant gardens that resemble Versailles. There is a wrought iron fence that surrounds the entire property with matching gates for the driveway, as well as tall evergreen hedges to add for a little more privacy within the area.
Hi, I'm Paige McCumber.
Hi, I'm Carly Henderson.
And I'm Madison Mayberry, and we're third-year interior design students. And we're just going to talk about the experience that we got to have at the Sundial House and some of the perspectives that we had for the interior of the space.
Some things that we think should be kept within the house as well too.
And some things that we think should be taken away. Or that have potential to be turned into something really great and add a great asset to the house. First off, it's a really striking house whenever you first come upon it. It's so different from normal Oklahoma architecture. I was really excited to get into the interior just because that's where we specialize. And I think it was a little bit of a shock because we walk in and the first thing that we saw was a baby blue kitchen, which you don't expect for this sort of grandeur of this Mediterranean architecture. But you can definitely see that like the bones of the structure, the floor layout, and the space planning has been really unique because you don't see homes that are organized in that way anymore.
Yeah, definitely. Some of the things that we would like to keep within the house are some of the woodwork. It's all in really good shape, especially like the staining and everything. It's still like a really nice and contemporary stain that could be kept.
Minus the mold.
Minus the mold, that needs to go.
Love the moldings, hate the mold. Just really small details, like the crown moldings and the moldings that cover the air vents are just things that make this house have character.
The
and make it
original
stand
crystal
out.
doorknobs and the thick solid wood doors, those would cost a fortune nowadays,
Yeah.
but because construction was different and interior design was different, then they have these really, really valuable assets that you can build upon and kind of tie throughout the house as you kind of remove the 1970s renovations and update to something, whether it's, you know, tying in contemporary design or going back to its historical, like, original intent.
Yeah. The whole house really does have a lot of daylight, and I think that's why they were able to use a lot of the dark woods and dark materials in the space. However, now with everything else in the house, it doesn't go well anymore. So
And there've been these vertical blinds that have been placed in all of these gorgeous,
covering
massive
beautiful
windows.
stained glass.
So we'd love to see those removed to kind of bring back that natural light and this like intensity in this really, really dramatic space, especially that living room that's got the overhang of the balcony and almost these like cathedral type windows, but they haven't been allowed to really thrive as their original design was supposed to let them.
I felt very closed off when I walked in the house because of how all the daylighting was cut off.
Yes.
And everything just seemed, with the renovations, didn't fit. No room, like, there was no flow through the house.
We'd love to see a cohesiveness
Yes.
throughout this space, kind of play with the fact that they do have a lot of different design elements going on with the different fireplaces. Like one is totally made out of stone, another is kind of this really funky mosaic tile that you would never see nowadays because it would be so outrageously expensive. But playing on elements like that are kind of this eclectic historical, like, beautiful gold mine, you could include all these different types of design and then put them together so that they flow from space to space.
Yeah. And when we were talking about furniture and stuff too, and just keeping the simplicity into modern furniture would help not distract from the historical element of the house, and like modern finishes and everything, and then doing some like cool artwork on the walls too could help highlight the spaces.
The Sundial House is located in northeast Oklahoma City. That area is historically a prominent African American area, which was decimated by urban renewal and hasn't seen investment in several decades. There currently does not exist a community or cultural center to celebrate the rich history of jazz. The area is currently zoned a PUD, which is quite restrictive for the 20-acre property. It limits it to a single-family residence and 60 senior housing residents, which currently exists. Surrounding the area is mostly single-family residential and a little bit of commercial. This provides a unique opportunity for the Sundial House. With the correct zoning, the Sundial House could become a multifamily residential unit, mixed uses, a museum, eating establishments, or a community garden with cultural exhibits to celebrate Northeast Oklahoma City's history.
In closing, we would like to reflect on the substance of the Sundial House. Architecture is often thought of as a significant component of the human cultural landscape. Through architecture, society conveys its values and aesthetic appreciation into the built environment. Arthur Erickson, a Canadian architect, once stated, "Great buildings that move the spirit have always been rare. In every case, they are unique, poetic products of the heart." If aligned correctly, a sundial divides the future from the past. We are convinced the future of Oklahoma's cultural landscape will remain enriched by the preservation of the Sundial House.